Just when I thought it couldn't get any weirder, I started seeing all these comments on my video talking about retention. As in like Big Al secret sauce retention. Everybody's talking about all these amazing benefits and what happens when you don't actually let Al do his thing. And then I'm like, wait a second, is this the same thing as like NoFap? Because NoFap, honestly, in my opinion, does have its benefits. You know, NoFap really started because of the whole like trying to break yourself of the addiction of pornography. And I personally think if you are somebody that doesn't consume it responsibly, this is a good thing. But apparently this whole retention thing isn't just about like not touching it, quite the opposite. You can actually have action and teach yourself to do your thing without actually it explode. How am I gonna not get demonetized? Today guys, I want to talk about retention, what it is, why it is what it is, and how you do it, how you don't do it, I should say, and also the reported benefits and downsides. But I also want to talk about the downsides of not letting Big Al do what Big Al likes to do. Alright, so in a nutshell, pun intended, it's basically just not like ejaculating. Now, it doesn't mean, apparently, that you can't like have action, you can't like touch it, you can't have like whatever penetration you want to get into, but it does mean that you're going to prevent yourself from actually, and right before you actually do what you're going to do and it actually comes out, boom, you press up on like the taint area, right? And it actually redirects where Al's secret sauce actually goes. Instead of coming out, it actually goes up into the bladder. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, this can't be healthy. I don't know biology, but I know that trying to press and make things go in places they don't need to go can't be good, right? Well, I started looking, and unfortunately, there isn't much data or research around this whole idea of retention. Some other forms of retention is edging, right? This is another practice that a lot of people use. Right before you get ready to give it a squeeze, right behind like the head of Al, and it actually like compresses like your urethra and things back up, and I'm not feeling like this is healthy. And the last option is absolutely like not to touch it, right? The whole NoFap thing. Now, this is where I think it gets a little bit confused, because a lot of people in the NoFap community are talking about the amazing benefits of the retention, right? Well, the retention people are like, yo, you can be retaining and still enjoy the action that you are interested in actually getting and Al is wanting to have. But now you're probably thinking, yo, Alpha, why the hell would somebody want to actually do this? Which is the question I asked. I'm like, yo, why would somebody want to do this? And so I went to town and down some really weird rabbit holes, which we're going to talk about in terms of the reported benefits after I tell you and talk about ED. The unfortunate reality is that many of us will suffer from some form of ED in our life. And the truth is, a lot of reported cases are actually in younger men. Now, whether or not it's from porn, whether or not it's because of our diets, that's not what we're talking about. What I would like to talk about is what you're going to do if you experience any form of ED. You know, I know that it's not easy to talk about. Most of the time as guys, we're like, not tonight, honey. We brush it under the rug. I'm stressed out or whatever. But with Roman, today's video sponsor, it's easy to talk about. With a healthcare professional that can prescribe you real medication, it's simple, safe, and totally discreet. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for your ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. The healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan, and if medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is simple, straightforward, and totally discreet. Getting started? Super simple. There's a link down below this video. GetRoman.com/alpha. Go through that link and complete an online visit. Erectile dysfunction used to be tough to tackle, but now there's Roman. Complete an online visit today to connect with a healthcare professional and take care of it. Guys, hit the link down below. Go to GetRoman.com/alpha for a free online visit. Plus, if approved, you're going to get $15 off your first order of ED treatment plus free 2-day shipping. That's GetRoman.com/alpha for $15 off your first order of ED treatment plus free 2-day shipping. So now let's talk about some of the reported benefits. And I gotta say reported benefits because the truth is there haven't been many studies and it's really difficult to prove sometimes the benefits that people are reporting. But like I said in the beginning of the video, if you think it's working for you, then do it. Or don't do it. It's totally personal preference, right? The first reported benefit is increased motivation. Number 2 is increased energy and mental focus. Now this one you can kind of back up with a little bit of science. Let me explain, all right? So when you actually actually like release your hounds, right? Well, your body releases a hormone called prolactin, all right? Prolactin actually makes you sleepy. So it kind of makes sense that if you're not releasing and your body isn't producing or releasing prolactin, you're not going to be as tired, thus have more energy. More self-confidence, reduced anxiety, not to mention memory and concentration, right? Because you're not thinking about like looking at porn or doing nasty, naughty things to super sassy senoritas. A few other benefits of retention or edging or just holding off and abstaining is reducing your risk of premature ejaculation. And the last reported benefit is a potential for increased fertility, all right? There's basically been some studies that show that if you want to be as fertile as possible and have your sperm be like swimming super fast like Michael Phelps, there was one study that showed if you actually abstain for one day, it's going to improve the quality of your semen, all right? But you shouldn't abstain for more than 10 days. That same study showed that if you're like letting it go too long, then things start to degrade and not be as amazing as reported. But there are also some physical benefits reported from retention. Clear skin, increased testosterone, more muscle mass, more fat loss, like literally like they report every benefit in terms of being awesome to not actually ejaculating, which I think is a little bit insane. There are also reports that like your voice will even get deeper by not doing it, which is why probably my voice is so high. But there are also some spiritual benefits as well in terms of a greater sense of purpose, not to mention stronger and deeper emotional bonds. I guess the thought process here is if you're not like getting freaky and frisky, then you're actually getting to know somebody a little bit better. I don't know. Once again, I don't know. So I'm not trying to say that it doesn't work. I'm not trying to tell you not to do it. If something, like I said, works for you, then by all means, go forth and do your thing or don't do your thing. But I just want to say, in a world of craziness, this one is up there, in my opinion, because it is natural, it is normal. There is nothing wrong with having a healthy and happy sex life, whether or not it's with somebody or with yourself. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Your dad did it, your dad's mom did it, like everybody does it. It's normal, it's natural. Now, this is not to say that if you have an unhealthy relationship with porn or something like that, that you don't need to chill out, like go for it, do it. But if you are somebody that is worried or feeling bad about the fact that you like to do it, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Guys, it's normal, it's natural, and it's healthy. Now I want to go over a few of the reported and scientific benefits of actually not retaining. Lowers blood pressure, increases and boosts your immune system. You get better sleep, you're more relaxed, less stressed. It also increases your connection with people because when you actually release, there's another hormone that is released that is called oxytocin, aka the bonding hormone. So when you do it, you bond a little bit closer. Now, the other benefit is reduce your risk of heart disease. There are a ton of benefits from actually not retaining, but there are some dangers, and that's what I want to talk about right now, all right? Number one is what some of you may know or referred to as blue balls, aka epididymal hypertension, all right? So here's how that works. If you've ever experienced it, you know how detrimental it is for the rest of your day, all right? You'll be getting aroused, everything will be like awesome, but then nothing happens, right? Whether or not she's like, yo, deuces, I'm out, or you gotta go, or whatever. The increase in blood flow is not only to Big Al, it's also to the boys. And when these boys are like, yo, come on, let's do this, I'm ready, right? And they're not allowed to or able to, then all of a sudden they start to ache, they start to hurt. Now, a general rule of thumb, if you are about to experience this or you are experiencing it, simply releasing and doing your thing will actually reduce and eliminate the problem. And this typically will happen more often in younger dudes, all right? Now, if you're somebody that it's going on or it's about to go on or you're like, yo, what should I do about it? Take matters into your own hands and release the hounds. Now, the other thing and the most important thing I want to talk about, and the reason why I feel that retention is potentially dangerous and could be deadly, research has shown that if you are somebody that ejaculates 21 times a month, you are reducing your risk for prostate cancer by 50% compared to dudes that just ejaculate 5 to 7 times a month. Your body is so smart. It's like a pressure cooker, right? Even if you try not to, you're like, yo, I'm not doing anything, right? What's going to happen? Nighttime? Yeah, exactly, right? few weeks of not touching, and all of a sudden you're gonna be like, damn, I gotta change my sheets. The truth is, you are amazing. If there is something that you find that benefits you from a mental, physical, or spiritual level, guys, I say by all means do it. Do not let me dissuade you. But if you're somebody that's thinking about it and maybe contemplating, just understand that it's my opinion that there is nothing wrong with it. It's natural, it's normal, not to mention apparently it's healthy to do it 21 times a month, which means I gots to go.